Hi Facebook, what is up? Good evening everyone. I kind of have some weird shadows going on from my balcony, but I wanted to come live to you. I am back from my camping trip and I hope I hope you had an amazing 4th of July. If you are watching this live, then please drop a 1 in the comments below. And if you are watching the replay, please drop a hashtag spiritual fitness queen in the comments below. I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to spend money on yourself and really just explain to you what it does for your energy and how it actually attracts more wealth to you. And it might be counterintuitive, but sometimes creating wealth or creating a big fulfilled life has some things that might not seem logical. And so I want to share those tips with you. And if you are excited to hear them, then please give me a heart in the comments below. So one thing, and I'll get to the meat and potatoes, one thing that my friend said to me that I'm stealing from her and using for this live video was this morning we were doing a group team Zoom meeting, and she said that her back was really hurting, and so she scheduled a massage, and then she unmuted herself and was like, dude, as soon as I booked that massage, I swear my back stopped hurting, or my back hurt less. And I just loved that so much because there's been so many times in my life where I've done something and just the action of it actually creates some emotional space for us to call in either healing or more money or better relationships, whatever it is. So there's this whole emotional side of action, and then there's the practical side of taking action. So my first tip for you, and you can write this down, my first tip for you is to this week or this month purposefully spend some money on yourself that you wouldn't normally spend money on yourself. And so this can be hard for people, but I want you to do it. I'm asking you to do it. And the reason that this works is because it actually trains our brain to know that, and when you do it, this is the energy that you should have about it, or that you get to have about it. So whenever I spend money on myself, personally, I'm really good at it. If you're good at it too, then drop a 3 in the comments below. But whenever I spend money on myself, I say to myself, every time I spend or I invest in myself, and it could be buying something materialistic like a new shirt or a new outfit, or it can just be spending money that's going to be investing in my home-based business that I know is going to come back to me, or spending money on a training that I know is going to make me a better business owner or a better human and be able to love and give more. And so every time I do that, that's the energy that I hold when I spend money. And so what this is going to do for you is it's actually going to create more opportunities for you to make more money, like I promise you. And also more opportunities for you to have more money to spend, to keep spending on yourself. So that is tip number 1. The second tip that I want to give you for creating wealth by spending money on yourself is to stop saying this specific word. So stop saying the B word. Stop calling yourself broke. Stop saying you can't do that, you can't afford that. All of that type of language, completely eliminate. Now this one can be really, really tricky, but I challenge you to become a stickler. That's the word. I challenge you to become a stickler about it and be very, very disciplined about eliminating that language from your vocabulary. Hey, Cody. And I swear to you, in the past, when I got lax on it because of the people I was surrounding myself with, I swear I just got more broke and more broke. And so being that I never say oh, I'm running low, or oh, I don't have enough, or oh, I couldn't buy that, because I've eliminated that vocabulary, again, it's creating that emotional space and that energy for more wealth to come my way. This really works, you guys. These are so simple, and it's always the little things, whether it's health, business, or in your energy with abundance and calling it and creating wealth. Calling in and creating wealth, it's a lot of pieces, a lot of moving parts. It's always these little things that are keeping you from having what you want, and that are going to bring more in. And so yeah, it's in the little things. People want to complicate it, or people are so much in their own way, but it's really very simple. So hi Lily, thanks for being on here. So the third tip that I want to give you on creating more wealth for spending money on yourself is to invest in something that is going to help you grow, or something that's been on your mind. So whether it's a course that you've been wanting to buy about manifestation, or something that'll help you in your business, or maybe it's reaching out to someone about how they create wealth and how they have a side business or an online hustle. Hey, Mariah. Then I encourage you to not listen to the logical part of your brain, because it's that logical part that actually fucks us. And so, hi, Lena. So, because the thing about fear that I was thinking about this weekend is fear is so addicting and so toxic because it's usually really logical. Like, it's just like anything. It's called cherry picking. If you want to find a reason to not believe in something, or to believe in something negative, or something like, or to like feed into anxiety or worry, how many times have you been there where you can find a million fucking reasons to stay in that fear? And that's why it's called fear. Forget everything and run, right? Forget all of this emotional energy that you can create. Forget all of this abundance that already exists around you. And it's so easy to stay stuck in that place because it makes sense in our brain. So what I have done, so I'm telling you to like screw the fear and do it anyway and actually take action, right? So let's go over, before I go into my routine, that's going to help you lock in all of these tips. So if you would like a copy of all the 3 tips that I just sent, as well as a detailed nightly and morning routine that I do to lock in this stuff into my subconscious, then please comment me a red heart below and I'll send that PDF to you totally free. So what was I saying? So let's go over everything, right, that we learned. So step number 1 is I challenge you to just spend money on yourself, and do it from an energy of, I'm going to get 10 times back what I'm spending. And I am totally detached to how it happens, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's a raise at work, whether it's a random check that I get in a mail from a refund I didn't expect. I'm just so fucking open to it. So that's tip number 1. The tip number 2 to creating wealth and by spending money on yourself is to eliminate that lack and that not enough language, right? So I'm broke, I don't have enough, I couldn't afford that, I can't buy it. Like, I will literally avoid the conversation if it means that I have to say those words. So I might say something like, that's not a priority for me right now, or I'm going to be able to do that coming up here shortly. Like, I know I will. And notice I'm not saying I can't. I'm just talking about the positive, because the universe only hears absolute. It doesn't hear specifics. So it only hears can't or can, or or afford or can't afford, right? It only hears like negative or positive. It doesn't, the vibrations don't respond to specifics. So watch your language. So that's tip number 2. So the third tip, and Lena, I'll get that over to you as soon as I'm done with dinner here. So the third tip is to take action, to do something, to ignore the fear and do something that feels really uncomfortable for you, and make the investment in yourself, whether it's a course, hiring a coach, asking someone about how they've created wealth, or how they've created some supplemental income for themselves. So those are my tips. And as far as my nightly routine, again, it's kind of long, so it would be easier for me to send it to you, but I'll kind of go over it briefly so you know what you're getting, and it's totally free. I might charge for it at some point, but it's totally free to you if you want it. Just drop me that red heart in the comments. So my nightly routine involves a lot of prayer, actually. And so for me, I'm in sobriety. So I will say, before I go to bed, I will say, thank you, God, for another day clean and sober. And then I do a self-inventory. I asked, did I harm anyone today? Did I do any damage or harm to myself? And do I owe amends to anyone, or do I owe amends to myself? And then what I do is I go into 3 things that I did a really good job at. And so just 3 things. And then, that's pretty much it. I make sure that I don't watch anything negative, or I'm not scrolling before bed. And I make sure a lot of times too, I will also put headphones in, because I live with my boyfriend now. And I will listen to some spirituality, like things on abundance and creating wealth, or joy or happiness, or whatever's on my heart. And then when I wake up, this is just as important. So how you end and how you start, your subconscious is so impressionable right before you go to bed and right when you wake up, and it's going to control your entire fucking life, I promise you. So, our life is like stringed together by these days back to back. And so how I start my morning is this. I don't touch my phone. I read 10 minutes from this abundance book that I've been reading. A lot of you guys have been buying it, actually. And it's called Happiness. It's called A Pocket Full of Money, Happiness in the Here and Now, or Happiness and Joy in the Here and Now. And it's not really about money, actually, but it's an incredible book to keep you thinking about these things and just being very, very mindful and being very intentful. Is that the word? Intentful, purposeful about everything that you're doing. And so it talks about action, but it also talks about creating this emotional energy that I talked on with these 3 tips. So I read our 10 pages of that, or 10 minutes. And then I also do a gratitude list with my team every single morning. So our team has this group chat, and we do a gushing gratitude list. And so I'll just talk about even things that haven't happened yet, because sometimes it's hard to be grateful where we're at, especially if things are shitty. So a lot of times I will, not because things are shitty, but when times have been, I've done this as well. I'll just do a full list of things that haven't happened yet as if they have, and just how I feel about them. Very powerful. And then after I do that, before I do all of that, I make sure to give my will over, because I want to I want the universe to know that I know I'm not in charge. I know I'm not the one running the show. And so to do that, I say, God, please take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. And then I do the 3 threes. This is when I'm being really good at this. I did this while I'm camping, and it just totally changes your whole fucking life. And so I started getting back to it, because these are things that are really easy to do, but also really easy not to do. But I notice a huge difference when I don't do them, so I'm back to it. So the 3 threes are 3 things I'm grateful for, which I already do every morning, and then with the team. And then I do 3 things that 3 of my desires. And, these can be things really simple for what my desires are for the day, or like big picture desires. And I always make the 3rd desire an unexpected gift. And I love that one. I just think that's such a beautiful way to live every day. And then the last part is I do 3 things I'm going to do today to make those other 3 things happen. So that's pretty much the gist of it. And again, if you would like a full detailed list of my morning routine, so you can just check the PDF and start getting into that habit. I'm a big fan of routines that don't take a lot of time, that you can mostly do in your head. So I mostly do this while I'm laying in bed, before I actually wake up fully. And if you would like that, so you can get into this practice and start creating wealth for yourself, then please comment me a red heart below, and I would love to hook you up with it. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another live video, or I will see you tomorrow for another live video. And thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful night.